Hey guys, Snortle here. I often get asked, is Caustic good in ranked games in Apex Legends? And also, how to play Caustic more aggressively, how to play him defensively, how to better use his traps. So I wanted to go through this in a video today, as well as looking at how I score Caustic in the current meta of the game in Apex Legends. And for that, I'm going to look at how his team abilities stack up against other legends, what negative effects he imposes on his teammates, if any, as well as how does he perform in ranked games, and should you be playing Caustic when you go into ranked games. So before I dive in, remember to like and subscribe if you like this content. I produce about a video a week. If you want to see more videos like this, it all helps my channel if you do give me a like and subscribe. We're getting really close to the 100 mark now, and thanks very much for everyone who has subscribed in the past. I really appreciate it, and I hope you like these videos. Okay, so let's dive in. So first of all, let's look at Caustic's abilities. First, he has the Nox gas trap, which has 3 charges, and you can place up to 6 of these traps at a time. Remember, if you don't like where you position one, you can always go up, pick it up, and move it somewhere else. You can also shoot your own Nox gas traps, which is really important when you want to control an enemy squad or you want to protect yourself from squads pushing, because most squads will avoid walking through the gas. And given that the time for a recharge is about 25 seconds from the time you drop the trap to the time you'll get a new trap to charge, and the actual gas lasts about 20 seconds, it means you can almost have a perpetual cycle of gas in a location if you need it during a fight. So just keep that in mind. The Nox gas grenade is where you can throw the gas cloud. And you also have Nox vision. So that is a passive ability, which means you can just see through your gas without being affected. You also don't have any movement penalty through your own gas, unlike your teammates. Plus, you've got the passive fortified, which means you take 15% less damage from every attack. And you also don't get slow effects from weapon fire, which is one of the things I really like about both Gibraltar and Caustic. So those are the abilities, and how do they stack up as far as helping out your teammates and contributing to your teammates through team abilities? Well, the sad truth is Caustic has no positive team abilities whatsoever. So this is one of the reasons why Caustic isn't a popular choice in a really tight squad dynamic. He can be a really effective legend if you know how to play him well, but he's not actually benefiting your teammates in any way. And so much so that if you have the ability to play any legend well, you can often control enemies pushing or doing other things, by laying down strategic gunfire or different things like that. So the gas traps don't add as much value as, say, some of the other Legends abilities, especially when it comes to ranked. The worst part about Caustic, I suppose, is the negative effects, and these are really, really bad. So the Nox actually slows, or the Nox gas, both from the traps or from the grenade, they slow your teammates down and bring you to a crawl. So even though it hurts the enemy, it's hurting your own teammates, and it also makes it really difficult to see enemies through the gas. And so if for novice or new Caustic players, they'll often throw their gas down or they'll shoot their gas traps right on their teammates, and it actually works against them. So it's not an advantage. You really need to know what you're doing and try to reduce the amount of negative effects you have on your teammates. There's a lot of times when we'll be playing, or I'm in a random group and there's a Caustic there, and the Caustic's in a room trapped in his own gas, and he's getting pushed by enemy players, or he wants us to come in and revive during a battle. And it's literally, if we go in there, it's a death trap, because we just get slowed, we can't see anything, and we'll be the next ones to die. So it's just one of those things that he has a lot of negative effects on his own teammates. And because of that, he's often not the first choice when it comes to ranked games. But because he can control a location, or at least a good Caustic can, you can actually contribute quite a lot to ranked games. So I wouldn't say don't play him, especially in Platinum level and lower. If you really enjoy Caustic and you're good at playing Caustic, then by all means take him as a choice. And I have seen a lot of Predators who love Caustic who play probably the most popular YouTuber who plays Caustic at the moment would be Candy Roo. If you want to see a really good high-level Caustic in ranked games at Predator rank, Candy actually plays the Caustic really well in terms of he uses his gas trap. He's always thinking about when to shoot his own traps, when to throw his gas, and where to throw it, and how to minimize his negative effect on his teammates. But basically also once you get to that higher level, Caustics aren't very popular. So what that effectively means in the meta of the game, there'll be less opposition Caustics on the battlefield. That means your gas is more effective because other Caustics are immune to your negative effects. So because there's no other Caustics there, you might be the only one on the battlefield. You essentially, every team of 3 is going to be affected by your gas. So let's just take a look at the negative effects. And this is one of the reasons why Caustic isn't chosen as much as, say, Wattson. Both are what I would call control type legends in Apex Legends. If you look at Wattson, Wattson doesn't have negative effects. In fact, she has excellent positive team abilities. So her ability for her ultimate to charge your teammates' armor and shields is a real positive. The fact that she can put up fences, just like Caustic can lay traps, her fences don't hurt her teammates at all. You can just run through them and they disarm for a couple of seconds and then they pop back up. So there's no slowing movement, there's no obstructing vision. The other thing is that Wattson also destroys grenades as they come in, or bombardments, and can also destroy Caustic gas grenades. So this is why most people at the higher levels will choose a Wattson over a Caustic in ranked games. I'm not saying you should. I'm just making you aware of why Wattson might be a better choice if you're seriously going to climb from Platinum up into Predator. But of course, if you love Caustic, if your teammates know how you play and can play around him, then by all means, play him. Especially, and I think this is most important, whatever legend you love to play is the one that you should be playing. Because just because your teammates don't like something and you love it, it really lowers your enjoyment if you can't play the legends that you love to play. So let's have a look at the suggestions to improve Caustic. There's a few things that I'd love to do, and some things that I thought of within the flavour of Caustic would be when I compare Caustic and his Fortify ability compared to Gibraltar. Gibraltar also has the arm shield, which blocks 50 damage from gunfire. I would love to see Caustic get like a gas coating. If he walks through his Nox gas at any point, I would love to see a temporary gas coating, which might give him a temporary shield buff of, say, 30 damage. The other thing that I would love to see is I would love to see Ultimate Accelerants fully charge his gas grenade in the same way that Ultimate Accelerants fully charge a Wattson's ultimate ability. I think that would mean, number one, it wouldn't be overpowered. Their gas grenade is limited in its use. It has a small spread of its effective range. But it would just mean that he gets a little bit of a buff, which isn't over the top. I'd also like to see, and I understand removing the movement and vision penalty from teammates who are going through the gas might just be too strong. And it literally mean, I think then that everyone would be playing Caustic, because you could literally gas a whole room and your team would just run in and wipe out your enemies. But I think removing maybe just one of those effects would be a welcome buff. So removing either the vision penalty or the movement penalty, just one of them. Probably the vision penalty makes the most sense. Caustic wears goggles. There's no reason, hey, you're going to jump into a fight with a Caustic. He gives you goggles as well, so you can see through his gas. That would be a welcome buff anyway, and not overly strong. So here's my summary on Caustic in ranked games, and also if you're playing him aggressively, how to actually use your gas. One thing that I would love you to keep in mind, and I see this all the time, even on a lot of players who put their videos up on YouTube. I've done it myself a lot of times as well, where you try to predict where the enemies are and you throw your gas grenade in. More often than not, if people don't get more than one tick in the gas grenade, it's kind of wasted. So I would always recommend, and something that I've changed when I play Caustic for the most part, is I make sure I see where the enemies are going and then I throw my gas. If you're taking Caustic into ranked games, make sure you don't go gassing your teammates. It's the number one way to get them to rage on you. And remember, keep in mind, tactically set off your own gas traps to help move in on enemy lockdowns. And this is really good if you want to play aggressively. If you see a squad, even if they're holding position on you, you can literally throw a gas trap as far as you can, shoot it, and that gas trap will go off. And remember that 20-25 second refresh rule. That gives you time to move in, and then you can throw your next trap, shoot it, and that'll move them out. I've done this lots and lots of times. You can actually gain position on your enemy squad because they want to avoid that gas as much as they can, and it'll help you get better positions in the game and get them out of where they are.